Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're in the bathroom. Well, we're not using the bathroom, but we're in the bathroom. We're actually going to be working on the toilet. So when we left out for Alaska, we closed our house up. And it was closed up for 7 months. And when we did that, we basically went through and winterized our house just like we would if we were winterizing an RV. Now, we drained the toilets, blew out all the water lines, put antifreeze in all the drains, and had everything set. But what we didn't realize is the toilet valves, I guess because of the corrosion from the water or whatever the case may be, when they dried out, now they're sticking. We've already replaced the one downstairs, so we're going to do the one upstairs today. And what it does is when you flush the toilet, the little float goes down and fills water up. But ours is actually staying up. It's not going down with the water level and turning the water valve on. So what we done is we went down to Lowe's and grabbed us a new valve. Now you can get these, they come in different brands, different sizes, but most of these are universal. This one is. It can be adjusted up and down to fit our toilet. It's made by Corky, and this is kind of the middle of the road. It's not the most expensive, but it's not the cheapest, but this is what we use downstairs. It's quiet, it feels good, and we're happy with the way it performs, so this is what we're going to continue to use. So for today, I'm going to show you how to turn the water off, disconnect the water lines, drain the tank, replace this valve, adjust it, and set it to where you'll have a new valve in your toilet. So stick with me and I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we've got this little bowl down here. It's a little plastic bowl. Probably something came in it at some point in time. And I'm going to use that to catch the water when I take the line loose. First thing we'll do though is we'll turn the water off. The water's off. We'll come up here and we'll just push the handle down. Now I'm going to hold the handle so all the water runs out of the toilet. And I want as much of it to run out of there as absolutely possible. Now we've got all the water out. Now I'm going to come up here and we're going to take the lid off. Be careful with these lids because they are porcelain. They will break relatively easily. So we take that off. We look down into this nasty mess and we see that all of our water is pretty much drained out. Now that we've got all the water out, there's still just a little bit of water that's going to be left down in there. So what I'm going to do is set the camera down here. Now a lot of times these are just hand tight. And this one is. So we'll take the water line loose and see if any water comes out. I'm sure there'll be a little bit. There we go. Now we've got the water line loose. And I'll just flex it over. Drain a little bit out so we don't have it dripping everywhere. Now comes the part where we'll need just a basic pair of pliers. We're going to get up in here, we're going to grab this and pop it loose. Now we got that loosened up. I'm going to hold down on the valve on the top while I screw this off. And that's got our nut off. I'm going to pick this tub up, put it right underneath, and then I'm going to pull up on the valve. Now that would have been a lot of water that would have dumped out in the floor if I hadn't had this bucket here to catch it. So this little cheap Tupperware container that we had sitting around the house actually saved me from having a big mess up here. So now I'm just going to set this down on the floor and I'm going to let it continue to drip in it. So now we're going to move up and I'm going to show you inside the tank where we're going to take the valve out and replace it with a new one. So here we are, here's our valve. What was happening is it would stick up like this. It has to go down to let the water in, but it would stay up. You'd have to take the lid off and push it down each time. So what we're going to do with this one is we're just going to take it out and we're going to chunk it because it's no longer any good. Now we've got our new one here. Let me get it opened up for you. And you can see it's nothing fancy. I mean, it's just a basic valve. comes with new clips, new nut, and a new hose. So what we'll do, first we'll put this on here, just like this. Then, so we're going to pull this up. Just pull straight out. Once we get it in here, we're going to have to lock it in place when we get it to the height that we need it. Now inside of the tank, there's a symbol in here that says water line, and that's where the top of this valve is supposed to be lined up to. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the nut on the bottom. We'll put it on just like we took the other one off. Pull this back out and double check. Our seal is on here. So once we put that in the hole, I'm just going to wiggle it to push it in place. And then we're going to tighten this nut up to the bottom. But I'm not going to tighten it all the way down, because what I need to do is, once I get this lined up, is lock it in place. And now that it's locked in place, I'll line it up to where it doesn't interfere with my ball valve, and my tube can go over and go down into the fill spout. So now we'll just tighten this down. And just like we did taking it loose, we'll throw a pair of pliers on there just to give it a good snug. Okay. Then we will reconnect our water line just like we took it loose. And most of the time with these water lines, they can just be hand tight and they'll be fine. We'll take our tube, see if it's going to fit in the original spout, and it's not. So what we can do is we can actually just poke it straight down in there like that, and it will stay and do just fine. We're ready to go. From this point, we turn the water on. And this is where the toilet starts filling up. Now it's going to break some of that stuff loose on the bottom as it fills up with water, which is going to be fine. We're just going to flush it straight down once it's full, and everything should work and be like it's supposed to. Now we'll just wait for this to fill up to our water line and confirm that we've got it set to the right height. And if we've got it set to the correct height, that'll come up, the water line will be full. And basically what you'll get out of it is about 2 flushes. You'll flush it once, it'll close, and you can flush it again and it'll do again, and then it has to fill all the way up. Alright. Now, here we go. Bring this camera in here, and you can see right down here, here's the water line. And we're right on top of it. So now, quick flush, and you see it leaves about half a tank of water in there. That half a tank of water would be enough for you to flush the toilet again, but we're not going to do it again. We just ensured that it works, fills up. Once it stops, we'll put the lid on it, and this project will be done. There we go. Filled up. It's below the level of the tube, so it's not going to overflow. This is actually considered an overflow. If this valve were to malfunction and it just continue filling up, it'll actually dump water down there, and that goes straight into the toilet itself and goes down the drain, keeps you from flooding the house. So guys, hey, that's it. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's real simple to replace these. Save you the money of having to call a plumber out. Really, all you need, pair of pliers. That pretty much will get the job done all the way across. And you can replace your own toilet valve when you have trouble. They make different kinds. They all come with instructions. You can read the instructions on them. They're pretty good about explaining how to do them and how to adjust them and how to set them. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. If you got questions or comments, drop them down below, and be sure and hit that subscribe button for us if you haven't already. Stay tuned. We'll be coming to you with more.